Good morning. I came to everybody last night with a video, Thanksgiving Eve. I thought it was important enough for me to relay the information, so I got on while it was fresh on my mind. But I wanted to slow down a little bit today and explain a little bit of, as to what my frame of thought was last night. I had watched a podcast, and this was from an individual who she sort of works with the Midas Touch Network. Now, the Midas Touch Network, I included Legal AF, but Legal AF works with the Midas Touch Network as well. These are podcasts on YouTube. I see them on TikTok as well, but they're elaborated podcasts are actually on YouTube, and they talk about everything from legalities as far as court cases, and they have been, and they've been following, Donald Trump for quite a while, and that seems to be most of what they talk about. Now, as far as their creds are concerned, they do have lawyers within their group. I think the leaders of these podcasts are lawyers, and if I'm wrong, then please correct me on this. Ben Meiselas from the Midas Touch, and he has his brothers and what have you. They're also in on it, and they have their own shoot off podcasts. All of them are pretty good. I follow them on a regular basis, and probably more than I should. But what they do is they get other legal experts that come in, and they sort of do a split screen with them, and they discuss various topics. Now, Jessica Denson, she actually is one that comes on with them, and I've seen her from time to time. I believe she is a lawyer, and if she's not, correct me again. But I believe she is, and she has a very astute legal mind, as well as a practical mind. Now, she was doing split screen interviews or discussions with them from time to time, and you will see in her YouTube videos that she is, working with them on that. But the thing that brought this to my attention when I was watching it was that she actually split off with them. Now, I was kind of confused because as I said, I consider the Midas Touch a viable source of information. These guys do their homework, they do their due diligence, they're very well spoken, and as I said, I follow them often. So I was kind of surprised to learn within that video, the one I was watching, that she sort of split off from them. And the reason why she said she split off from them, and you'll hear it in her video, and there's several of them. I think the one that my link points you to in the last video would be the one where she's talking with, and I got to get these names right, a Susan Greenhalgh. I think that's her name. She's from Free Speech for People. That's her call sign, you might say. And she is involved with a pro-democratic advocacy group, obviously, for democratic issues. So she was on the letter as well, this November 13th letter we're talking about. We have Spoonermore, we have Duncan Buell, we have her, which is Susan Greenhalgh, and the other person escapes me right now, but I'm sure if you look at the letter, you'll be able to figure that out. Now, so far, we've seen interviews with two of them, which would be Mr. Buell, Dr. Buell, and with Spoonermore. They have done interviews, which hopefully you guys have had a chance to see. Now, as I say, she goes on to say that she split with them because of those reasons. The reasons were this, and I think I might have touched on it last night, was that they didn't want to go with this November 13th letter thing. I can understand somewhat. I'm not covering for them. I mean, if the situation's the situation, you got to come out with it, regardless of the ramifications. But they have close to, if not over 3 million followers. At least they did before the election. I don't know what they filtered down to. But I guess they felt, and, if I'm misrepresenting, sorry, Midas Touch, but this is, I can only call it like I see it. They felt that if they put this out, they would look more like conspiracy theorists, and they would lose their followers, different things like that. I think that's going to work against them. Hopefully it doesn't, because they are from what I consider. And she does go on to say later on in the videos, she gives them their accolades and things like that. And I think that's only fair. I think we're all on the same team. The last thing we need to do is separate each other. But I can understand why she wanted to pull away and tell her own story the way she wanted to tell it. And I think she does it very well, especially in the video that link is connected to. I think she does a very good job. I mentioned yesterday, I think she's a rising star, and the only reason why I say that is because there's some people who come up and they speak truth to power regardless of whatever the consequences are, and I feel that's what she's doing. I know that's what I'm doing. I mean, I don't have anything to lose. I'm not in it for the money. I'm not in it for the fame. I'm not in it for anything. I'm just I'm just passing information that I see. I don't condone any of it. I do have my leanings as to whether I think there's some type of validity to each subject that I talk about. But I try to be open-minded and look at different sides of the equation. I think she does too, but hey, look, you got to call a spade a spade. And if you're wrong, you're wrong, but you got to call it. That's just the way that goes. So I came on as well to let you know about, I know we talked about the deadlines for the states, for the key swing states as far as the certification of their votes. So I may put out a video about this later on so you can see it, one of these ones with the slideshows. I haven't decided if I want to do that yet or not, but I may go ahead and do that. Just to give you an idea as to when she was talking about the swing states and their certification deadlines, some of them have already passed. There are a few that haven't passed yet, and then of course we've got the Electoral College certification, and then we've got the certification in Congress. So those are different milestones that need to be met. Let me give you the dates for those. The key swing state certification deadlines in Arizona is November 25th, so that's already passed. Georgia was November 22nd, that's already passed. Michigan is November 25th, that already passed. Nevada, November 26th, that's passed. Now, interestingly enough, with all these bullet ballots flying around, North Carolina is still in play. They're not until December 2nd. Pennsylvania is November 25th, and Wisconsin is December 1st. Okay? Now, other dates to know is that the full Electoral College election results certification deadline, which is known as the Safe Harbor deadline, is December 11th. Under federal law, put it up here so you can see me and I can read. Under federal law, states have until December 11th to certify election results, known as a Safe Harbor deadline. And then they have a meeting on December 17th to solidify all that information. Look it up, take it for what it's worth. Now, after this date, state election results become finalized. That's December 17th. The Electoral College electors will meet and cast their votes for the presidential candidates according to the will of their states. The results are then sent to Congress. U.S. Congress election results certification deadline is January 6, 2025. On January 6, 4 years from the previous election and certification, the House of Representatives and the Senate will convene to count and finalize the votes by the Electoral College. Lawmakers can object to a state's electors, but the 2022 Electoral Count Act raised the necessary threshold to 1/5 of the House and Senate to proceed with the objection. So obviously it was something that I missed. There's this act in 2022, probably having a lot to do with the previous certification, so it doesn't happen again. They raised the count to objections to 1/5 of the House and the Senate, and with the Senate and the House, Senate being in Republican hands and the House probably following suit. Not guaranteed at this point. I realize there's still some results out, but that's highly unlikely that that's going to happen. So anyway, so that's where we sit right now. Don't give up all hope. I don't like it when people come out and say, this is a conspiracy theory. And hey, look, you got to check the facts. You got to look at them. You can't know their facts until you investigate it. You know, people saying, oh, it's you know, scams, it's this, that, the other thing. It's, you know, witch hunt, election denial, unwarranted. But unless you check the facts, unless you investigate, you don't know if there are facts there. Now, adding on to that, as I said before in previous videos, if for some reason there was something askew and it's found out later on down the line, and this administration did not act because of the, you know, they go low, we go high. You know, let's all get along, and you know, we'll have you know, a smooth transition of power. Well, there's going to be a price to pay for that. There's going to be a price to pay. Unfortunately, we're all going to pay it, but that's the way that goes. Enough for my rattling along. Again, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully everyone had a pleasant Thanksgiving. Again, today's date is November 29th, 2024, in case people need it for a timeline reference. Well, good enough. May reach out today. Got a lot of things I got to get done. If not, then I'll catch you a little bit later on down the line. Thanks.